Right guys, welcome back to the Bit of Truth for a weird Wednesday. We've got a lot to discuss today. The good versus the bad criminals, the legal versus the illegal criminals, and much more. So sit down, buckle up your seatbelt, it's going to be a bumpy ride. Let's go. Rishi Sunak vows to end the war on motorists with a review of anti-car policies. Rishi Sunak says a lot, but never actually seems to do anything. He is just like every other politician. Says one thing, does another. Rishi, I'm telling you, you are failing. And if you don't get your act together and actually follow through on something, especially like the terrorising tax of driving a car, then you, my friend, will be getting your P45 posted to you at the next election. Although I'm sure that you won't be too worried being a billionaire and all, I just hope that the possibility of shame will scare you enough to make a change. Even Guinness thinks so, don't you? Oh, who are we kidding? These MPs, the morons of politics, are so narcissistic they couldn't give two shiny shites.
Correctamundo!
So it's no wonder that vandals go on a wrecking spree of the ULEZ cameras. This is a prime example in Not All Heroes Wear Capes. Now, I'm not defending crime, however I would love to buy these two a pint. It must be very thirsty work doing all the things that Rishi says he will. The more and more you piss off the general public with all this greenery tax, the more and more people will say this is enough and will start their own vigilantism. Now the real criminal here is that Sadiq, you know, the one that not only hates motorists and is trying to extort every single penny he can out of them in order to spend on startup costs, but also doesn't know what a crime is. Look out the window of your plush pad, Sadiq. People are getting stabbed every day in your Lawless London. And they're unable to get fixed because your NHS is on strike.
No, I think we've had enough of your jokes.
And more people that are fed up is most of the population here in the UK. And we are starting to speak out about it. So is Guinness. Rishi, I'd advise you to bring in a new law where companies can't fire you for saying things that aren't illegal. A gender-critical social worker is blacklisted from jobs because of her comments about Mulvaney. This absolute hero woman, who is actually a lesbian herself. Oh, I love the lesbians. I Google them every day. Anyway, she got fired because she described that weird creature on the Bud Light on Your Feet cans, a skinny gay man with no tits. Calling a spade, I suppose. Again, if I put on a wig and makeup, tucked in my rather small penis minimalist, so small that my parents decided to call me Justin, changed my name to Justine, and wore a dress so short my hairy balls hung out the bottom, why should I now be afforded the right of being able to be called a woman? This is bollocks.
You have a good point.
Excuse me, mister. And on more woman face, a trans activist who murdered a lesbian couple and their son is preying on inmates at a women's prison in California. You see how this backfires? A man, and no, I'm not going to say a biological man, who brags about getting special treatment due to the California's woke incarceration policy is now wreaking havoc. I don't care if you're in a woman's prison, a woman's changing room, or a woman's gym. Women with bonus holes need to be protected. You think it's random how after all these years there's now a sudden influx of men who just happen to be women all along? I'm calling this bullshit. These are creepy weirdos who are just using this as an excuse to do more horrific things.
Nailed it!
And speaking of terrible things, let's see how the Dover discoverers are faring on their voyages from Calais. Apparently, a crackdown on foreign criminals getting UK citizenship comes into force. Again, as Elvis said, a little less conversation, a little more action. Day by day, we are seeing more people jump off the little dinghies and straight into 5-star hotels which aren't good enough for them. We have watched countless videos of these people throwing their phones and passports into the sea, doing horrible crimes to both men and women shortly after arriving, pretending that they're 12 years old at 6'2" with beards thicker than mine, or just running off and disappearing without us knowing who they are, where they're going, or what their intentions are. When are we going to enlist the help of the Army and Navy to turn these boats around?
The answer is never.
And you see how easy it is, and also how much these criminals are just laughing in our faces. The ringleaders of these gangs are far smarter than the people that are in charge of us. Or maybe it's just the fact that the people in charge are too busy virtue signalling and saying that they're going to do something just in order to get a couple more votes to stay in power in order to spend £500,000 on booze. Anyway, people traffickers are using ship and flag emojis to trick TikTok and to advertise their smuggling. There you go, people. TikTwit, the new travel agency for asylum seekers. Please, lefties, please explain why people who are fleeing from terror need the use of TikTok to book their cruise across.
I can't answer that.
Yeah, didn't think so. Now, you remember the other day where I reported that police are going to investigate all crimes? Well, I did say that I'll believe it when I see it. Well, I still haven't seen it. A co-op shop owner says that the police won't investigate shoplifting unless it's over £200. Well, there you go, guys. I can't wait for this one to backfire. You're going to have people walking around doing their weekly shop, just making sure to keep it at £199.99 to be able to walk past the cashiers and straight back home. The only people that end up paying for this is you and I. You think that these companies are taking a hit? No. They're just charging us more and more.
Yep.
And again, back to you lefties to pick and choose what you protest about. Will you protest about this one? The NHS-owned PPE worth £225 million, yes, that's £225 million, is burned in China, pumping out 6,000 tonnes of CO2. I highly doubt your protests about this either, seeing as you love your PPE so much. I still see a bunch of you driving around in your diesel cars, on your own, wearing your face nappies with the windows all the way up. You lot are in your own little bubble. Why don't you take a flight, as we know how much you love flying, over to China or India and protest the climate there? Those two countries produce more together than the rest of the world combined. And don't start saying, oh well, they produce it because we buy it, blah blah. Where do you think your mobile phones, your laptops, your plastic shoes, your plastic fork and your high-vis jackets come from? They definitely weren't made here. Go and build some more speed bumps for us. Slowing down vehicles is causing more congestion. Definitely great for the environment.
You're not very bright, are you?
And here's another example of wasted money which is unaccountable. A mystery of £100 million shopping mall that taxpayers fund, but nobody seems to know who owns it. That's right, they say follow the money and you'll find the criminals. Yet it seems rather difficult in this one, and I've tried. In the article it says, the council pay the money to Talisker, but Talisker say that they're no longer involved. Apparently Talisker bought it from Queensbury, but there was a sale to Old Star Finance, yet no announcement of that was made. You see, somebody is getting paid an awful lot of money here, and still nobody knows where it's going. Said it again, I said it before, who needs sex when we're getting screwed every single day?
Man, this is some bullshit!
And more people that are getting screwed is homeowners. You scrimp and save and you scrimp and save for years and years and years, sacrificing everything, including time with your loved ones, just in order to save enough to buy a deposit for a house. And now the average price of a mortgage has doubled in the space of 3 years. Half of the UK is now paying over £1,000 a month on mortgages.
It's a bloody disgrace.
And just to double down on that one, the Bank of England is expected to raise interest rates again this week. I'm really starting to believe now that they're trying to financially bankrupt as many people as they can. And then as they get your home and you have nowhere to live, good luck on relying on the council because they don't know where they're spending their money. And also because you're actually from here, you'll be at the bottom of the list. But don't worry, if you do need food, you can always use your 5-finger discount as long as it's under £200.
Now you being a smart ass.
And just to finish off, here's a bear cooling down in the swimming pool during a Californian heatwave. Speaking of that, I'm off for a cold shower after that one.
There, fucker! Do you need assistance?
Right guys, hope you enjoyed the video for Wacky Wednesday. If you did like it, leave it a thumbs up. If you're not already subscribed, hit that subscribe button. And don't forget to hit all notifications with that little bell somewhere. Hope you enjoy the rest of your day and I'll see you back tomorrow for Thursday. Signing out.